Hey, what's up, guys? This is your boy Travis back again here at Big Boy Toy Reviews. And today we are taking a look at the REVOLTECH Amazing Yamaguchi Tomura Shigaraki, or Shigaraki Tomura as it's printed on the box. I know it's kind of weird how I'm doing these reviews because I have not reviewed Deku yet. There's a whole bunch of other ones that are out right now that I haven't reviewed. It's weird that I am kind of going randomly, and it's kind of like that because that's just how they pop up on Mandarake, which is where I got this. I couldn't find this dude on any like regular websites, like first party websites like a Big Bad Toy Store or Hobby Ginke or Hobby Link Japan or anything like that. I couldn't find him on there, so when he popped up on Mandarake, I went on ahead and got him. Unfortunately, buying from Mandarake, I have learned that you're gonna get your head busted in with the shipping. It's always going to be way too expensive. The shipping sometimes is more than the actual figure itself, and it just makes absolutely no sense. It's not because this figure weighs a lot. It's not because that box is huge. It's just because they've decided that that's what they are going to charge, like double the shipping. And I hate it, and I know they're scamming the fuck out of people with that shit, but sorry, I just took a sip of my coffee. It's early in the morning on a Saturday. Well, I guess it's not really early. It's 9:40 a.m. That's not really early, but it's early for a Saturday to be up on a Saturday. But, I like to get my weekend started early, considering that I live in an area where people drink a lot. Anyway, but yeah, it's kind of random. So I'll be bouncing around. Who knows? I might get Hawks next. I don't know if I'm ever going to pick up All Might, just because I never liked how All Might looked from REVOLTECH. We'll see. I might pick him up just to have him, but I just really didn't like the way he looked when he first came out. But I'm definitely going to get Hawks. I'm definitely going to get, what is old boy's name that is Endeavor's son, but he's a bad guy. I forget his name, but I'll get him as well. So don't worry, I'll be getting these. Obviously, this is kind of a throwback review. I don't remember when he came out. I think he came out in 2023, I believe, because I did have him on pre-order, but somehow I missed the purchase. Same thing with Dobby. Yeah, it's Dobby. That's Endeavor's not illegitimate. What would you call it? His son that he abandoned. There you go. So Dobby was one that I was wanting to get too, and I had pre-ordered him too, but it didn't go through or something. So I need to get Dobby. Hawks the same way. So I think those are the ones that are out other than Deku right now. So I need Hawks, Deku, I guess All Might, Dobby, and I think that's it for the bad guys. Did they ever come? Did they ever come with a all for one? I don't know if REVOLTECH ever came out with an all for one. I don't think they've come out with an all for one yet. Yeah, I don't know if they came with an all for one yet. Well, anyway, that's besides the point. Let's talk about this guy. This is how he came in the box. Another typical the new boring boxes that they use for REVOLTECH and Amazing Yamaguchi stuff now. It's just sad, really. But it's fine. It's boring. It is what it is. No window box, anything. I'm not a fan of those boxes. This is how he came in the box. This is clearly used because you guys know I do not open my boxes from the top. So this was used. It was opened. I wish they would learn. I wish they would have opened it from the bottom, but that's neither here nor there. So I'm not quite sure why. I guess this is kind of a sinister smiling face, but I don't remember him smiling all that much in the anime unless it was like a really kind of evil, sinister smile. This one looks a little too happy to me. I guess it is what it is. The overall look of him, I feel like he's small. And I'll get Bakugo and all the other characters out that I have from REVOLTECH, but I feel he's a little too small. I feel like I know he's supposed to be pretty skinny, but is he supposed to be this skinny? It's been a minute since I watched the anime where he finally awakened his powers, or whatever you want to call it. He had his shirt off in this look, so you don't get the mask with the hand on the face, which is unfortunate. But this was basically his final look, I think, in the anime and the manga. I wish they would have at least come out with the first version of him. Did they? I don't know if REVOLTECH has come out with the first version where he has the hands all over him, but that would have been cool to have. Let me know in the comments if they came out with that one, because I'll look for it if they did, or I could research it, but depending on if I forget or not, if somebody can get in the comments and let me know. But no shading anywhere, unfortunate. The paint is done nicely, but absolutely no shading anywhere. It's very pale, very flat, kind of soft sculpt. Not that impressive I paid $100 for him, but that's because it was like $40 in shipping, which is ridiculous. But $60-$70 for this guy seems reasonable to me. The cape, on the other hand, is nicely shaded. You get a nice gradient from the brighter red to the darker parts of it. You got the shading up here in like the collar piece. I do like that. I'm always an advocate of real chain when it comes to stuff like this, but I understand why they went this route. But just to have no shading anywhere in the skin is pretty sad to me. I do like the details, even though I do feel like it's a bit of a softer sculpt. I do like the details. I think they could have went a little bit more, I guess, harder with the sculpting, but it's not bad. It's just not where I would have expected it to be. The sculpting in the legs are nice. He does have that kind of wide open spread look that most amazing Yamaguchi figures have. For some reason, they always kind of have like they always seem to be bow-legged and have very, very thick thighs. In some angles, he looks disproportionate. His thighs look too big compared to his torso in some angles. If I'm looking at him straight on like this, there is a sense that his thighs are a little too thick, with two C's. And so that could definitely throw the figure off, but it could be just because of this armor, kind of like armor piece right here, because I feel like if this was not there, and it kind of like sticks out here on the side too. So I don't think it necessarily a problem, or it's necessarily he's too thick in the legs. It's just that the armor pieces on his legs are kind of thick. So I think that's really what it is. But other than that, he looks pretty good. I do like the hair and everything. We're gonna kind of get in a little bit closer here so we can get a better look at that face. But yeah, I think he's just a little too cheesy in this default face sculpt that they have. I don't remember. I tried to look up what his bonus piece was, but I couldn't find it. But I'm wondering if it was like a different face or something. Or maybe was it another decay quirk accessory or something. I don't know. But the face is fine, I guess. I'll put a picture up of him in this look, probably like right here next to this, so we can kind of see what he looks like in the anime and what this figure looks like. I'm not quite sure if they nailed it because it's not new in my head right now, but if I can find a picture, I will put it up. But other than that, everything is nicely painted. You can see that his missing finger thing is painted nicely. I don't know if that's supposed to be blood or a tattoo. I don't remember. or it was part of his quirk. I don't remember, sorry. But that is painted nicely. I don't like the fact that they decided to go with this kind of auburn type of hinge joint here for the elbow. They should have just kept it the flesh color. I think that would have been a lot better because you don't really see this going into this, onto this side. He does have a little bit here on the inside of his arm, but I think they would have been better off using a flesh tone joint there than this color, than this kind of auburn color here. It's fine for the wrist because his hand is red, but or auburn. This is like a burgundy or auburn type color. Kind of, you know, roll tide-ish. I went to Alabama, so roll tide with this. All right, this could also kind of be what's the other Alabama Auburn. So this could also be kind of Auburn's colors too, kind of, sort of. We're kind of getting into the weeds here. Anyway, let's go ahead and get on to the accessories. All right, starting off with the hands, we do get 3 of each, and they're all basically trying to do the same thing, considering that he's missing 3 fingers on this side. So it's kind of, I know it's gotta be rough to be missing a thumb. Like, your thumb is like one of your most important fingers. So, but yeah, spread open hands, kind of clenching hands, and then we got 2 fist hands here, and they're fine. They're nicely painted. They did a decent job here on the paint for the hand that's missing fingers, so that looks okay. Then we do get an extra hairpiece here for more dynamic posing, so that looks fine. Then with the faces, we get another kind of smiling face looking up into the side, so that looks pretty good. We get another smiling face looking up and off to the other side, so we get 2 side looks there. Then we finally get the super sinister smiling face that he looks absolutely nuts. So this is a cool face. I don't really like the job they did on the paint job they did on the teeth. That looks off to me. You can see, like, if you can see the lines, let me see if I can get something to point at it. The lines where the sculpt is and where the paint lines are off. So that's not ideal, but this is obviously not something that you would notice just by looking at it, but looking this close on the camera, you can tell that these aren't lined up with the lines of the sculpt. So that's kind of disappointing, but who would notice that other than somebody looking that close at the face? And then we have this super crazy yelling face, and I'm glad they didn't bother trying to line up the teeth here. I like this face. This is probably my favorite face for sure. This is probably the face that I'm going to use when I'm displaying him in my collection. So I like the way that face looks. Then we get this piece. So this is actually, this was technically 2 pieces. So this piece is separate, and then all 4 of these pieces are separate pieces, but I went on ahead and plugged them in because I was messing around with them. And these pieces are cool. I like the way that these looks. I forget what power this is that he uses when he is doing this, but they do have pegs in them, so you can technically make these longer. So if you wanted to peg this in here, you could, you know, make an extended part of that. So you do get this piece, and it plugs into the hole in his back. So you get that, and then finally you get the decay effect, so you can show off his decay quirk. So this looks really good. I like the way that this looks. It has very nice purple gradient from, like, basically kind of clearish purple to a darker purple at the top. You get the little decay effect here, so I like the way that that looks. It also works very nice as a stand, even though he does come with your typical REVOLTECH stand. I'm not really going to take this out of the box. He also comes with an extra peg. You can see that wrist peg in there. So that's kind of typical for REVOLTECH. Nothing particularly special about that. So I don't typically use those. So that's why I don't take them out the box. But yeah, that is pretty much it for the accessories. So let's go ahead and get on to the articulation. So you are going to see the annoying REVOLTECH shoulder joints. You can do your best to try to cover them up with this cape, but it's not really going to work. So you're going to have to kind of deal with that or try to pose it away if you are trying to take pictures or whatnot. The hair is going to, because of this neck piece here, you are not really going to get a whole bunch of looking up. You can kind of adjust it. You can adjust the neck. If you adjust the neck, he can look up. He can look up a little bit. So that's the advantage of having those REVOLTECH joints, that you can kind of maneuver it to where, oops, pop this whole little situation off there. Can I get them all on at once? Yeah. So he can look up a little bit. He can look down right into his chest. Side to side is going to be a little hindered because of that collar piece from the cape. Then when we're talking about the cape, you do get some ball joints here. So you can kind of move the shoulder pieces around on that ball joint. You could probably pull this whole piece off. Not the collar piece, but this cape piece. These fall off quite a bit, but you can probably move these pieces. So these are all on ball hinge joints there. Same way with this, they're on hinge joints, but the way that it's sculpted, you're not going to get a whole lot of movement dynamic posing out of it. You can kind of get it flowing in the wind like that, and you can get it off to the side. You kind of just got to maneuver it, and there's the hole in his back for the stand and stuff. And so I like it to be covered like this, unless I'm using those effect pieces. So you can kind of maneuver that cape how you want it. This is not the worst that I've seen when companies try to do this whole little rig to try to, work around not using cloth goods. This is not the worst I've seen. So it's fine. I get what they're doing here. I can't really say what they could have done other than something like this. I guess they could have made this all one piece. I know I think his cloak or cape or whatever is super tattered and torn. You would have had a difficult time creating this out of a soft good, creating this with soft goods. So I get where they're going with this. I'm not saying that it's okay, but I understand why they went this route. So anyway, as far as the shoulder, you're going to get your typical REVOLTECH joint there. You can get a little bit above horizontal. You do get the bicep swivel in the shoulder. You can go all the way around with it. And then you do get a twist in the elbow as well. Then we got over 90 degrees there for the elbow. That's fine. Those can fall out. And it's probably going to happen quite a bit. Got hinges for the wrist as usual. And then as far as the diaphragm joints, he can go back that far. You do get some decent side to side. Just using it's not that great actually. You're not really getting a whole lot out of that diaphragm joint side to side, unfortunately. Going forward, it's tight, but he can crunch forward. You are going to get some gapping there, but he can crunch forward nicely. You're going to get most of your side to side out of that waist joint. So it's really good once you activate that joint, and then obviously you can get way further back and forward. Some more gapping there. So, and then you get your twist there at the waist as well. Then for, whoops, the hand and everything just fell off. Let's get that back on there. I didn't have this issue before. Anyway, you can get the splits. The way that this is set on there, you know, you kind of got to do the REVOLTECH splits here, but you can get the splits normally as well. I don't know why this other side doesn't want to move for me. I think because that piece was in the way, or just the way that it was set. I'm not quite sure. You can get the splits. I'm not quite sure why this side isn't working, but let's get that back forward. Then kicking forward. Let's see. Come on now. This wasn't that tight when I first was messing with this guy. Kicking forward, he can kick forward quite nicely. I'm gonna have to put some shock oil on that joint. Backwards. Okay. And then you do get a thigh swivel here at the thigh, obviously. Then your typical REVOLTECH knee joint, which is not the greatest looking, but it's functional. So you get way over 90 with that. You do get a swivel here at the shin too. However you want to deal with that, it can move on its own back and forth as well. Back and forth. A little bit side to side, not much though. Then for the ankles, you can get down that much, up that much. I don't know what is going on with my focus. Up about this much, and then you get a toe hinge, which is a little loose, but typical REVOLTECH articulation there. Nothing particularly special, nothing bad. I think REVOLTECH has gotten a lot better with their joint placement and balancing the aesthetic to joint ratio. I guess I think they've gotten a lot better at that, and so their figures aren't as well. What do I want to say? They're not as like gangly looking anymore. So I do appreciate that. But anyway, that's it for articulation. Let's do some comparisons. Alrighty, so here he is next to Ochiko and Bakugo from REVOLTECH, and as you can see, Bakugo is too tall. He is way too tall. He is taller than Shigaraki, which is not supposed to be the case. He is too tall. That was my whole point before. They have made him way too tall. I can't wait for the SH Figure Arts, because I will probably pair that in the collection instead of this Bakugo, because this Bakugo is too tall. He is slightly taller than Shigaraki, and Shigaraki is supposed to be 5'9", according to the internets, and Bakugo is supposed to be 5'8". So these heights should be reversed. Bakugo should be Shigaraki's height right now, and he's not. Like I said, they made this Bakugo way too old looking. He does not look like a teenager. Sorry to say, they kind of fucked up on that. But anyway, that's what he looks like with them. All right, and here he is next to Aizawa and, why am I blanking on his name right now? Endeavor. Here he is next to these two. And obviously Endeavor is huge. He's supposed to be 6'5". Aizawa's supposed to be 6 foot. If you watched my Bakugo review, go back and watch that review. You can see how much taller these guys are. Now, in my Bakugo review, I said, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and do this because I actually do want to see this. Because in my Bakugo review, I mentioned that he's supposed to be 6 feet tall, and Bakugo is supposed to be 5'8". This to me is more, is closer. Damn it, that is a problem with that figure. This is a little bit closer to what I would like it to be. I still think Shigaraki's supposed to be 5'9", so Shigaraki, I think he's still too tall compared to a person that's supposed to be 6 feet tall. But I like this comparison way more than the Bakugo comparison, because this to me is closer Not quite there yet, but closer. I think they should have made Aizawa a little bit taller. Yeah, but that's what he looks like with these guys. Alrighty, and here he is next to the fluted armor knight from Figma, and then we have the Jada Toys Guile, which, whoops, if I do a top 10 this year for 2024, Jada Toys is definitely going to be in there. Look at them, they just fell off. Jada Toys will definitely be in that running. But yeah, obviously Jada Toys is going to be bigger. He's already taller than him in the crouch position, so they won't really fit in with each other. At some point, I might do a small little rant about, so now that I've been going hardcore into reviews, my YouTube feed just can't not stop feeding me other reviewers. And I'm telling you, some people have some really bad takes on action figures that I didn't realize. I feel like some people don't know the difference between collectibles, action figures that are collectibles, and action figures that are toys, that are children's toys. I'm sorry to say, and I'm just gonna say this out in this video, Mattel, that's for kids. They can make action figures if they want to. Those are children's toys, in my opinion. They are no comparison to even a Marvel Legends or a Jada toy. Mattel, no. And Marvel Legends is walking that fine line of adult collectibles and children's toys, in my opinion. So it has nothing to do with the price point. It has nothing to do with the price point either. I just kind of want to get that out. I might go on a rant about that one day, because I get tired of people having these bad takes. And don't get me started with the McFarlane fanboys. Anyway, that's for another day. Let's move on to the next comparison. And here he is next to the Mezco Eastman and Laird 4-pack Ninja Turtles, the comic book original OG, kind of OG, and the Mafex Captain America, which is the best Captain America out currently in any figure line. But here he is next to them. So next to, you can see Captain America is quite taller than Shigaraki. How tall is Captain America supposed to be? I think I asked this before. I think he's supposed to be, I've seen him anywhere from 6'2" to like 6'5". In my opinion, this is probably how tall Aizawa should have been, because this is more, I can see this more being a 5'9", 6'2". Maybe too short for 6'2", but I can easily see 6 feet here. Not quite, maybe 6'1", but yeah, that's what he looks like with them. And finally, here he is next to the SH Figure Arts Monkey D. Luffy Romance Dawn version and the Marvel Legends Miss Marvel. And so that's how you see, that's how he looks, or how he scales with these lines. I mean, it varies, obviously. They have different size figures in Marvel Legends and SH Figure Arts, so, but this is what he looks like with these two people. And did I say people? Characters, with these two characters. Anyway, that's it for comparisons. Let's move on to the final thoughts. Alrighty, so for my final thoughts, it's a good addition to the My Hero Academia REVOLTECH display. You obviously need the main antagonist in the series, so it would make sense. I guess he's not the main. I guess All For One is the main, but I'm not going to say any spoilers about the manga. Maybe it's still too soon for some people, so I'm not going to tell you what happened, but he is still kind of the main antagonist. So anyway, but yeah, he looks good. He poses well. I do think there should have been some shading in the skin. There's nice shading in the cape. And as you can see, like, the cape can cover up that back piece, that black piece that you have to plug in order for these little effects to stick out. So you can get that, you can maneuver that so you don't necessarily see it. If you look really close, you can see the little black piece in his back, but But I like this too because it almost acts as a stand, like I was saying earlier. It almost acts like a little stand for him to stay up. So I do like that. Was he able? I don't remember if he was able to actually make the decay quirk work from his feet. I think eventually he was able to. But anyway, but yeah, I think he's fine. He's the only one we got, unless you want to go to like the children's toy area and get what are those things called? They're like wannabe SH Figure Arts. I almost think, does Bandai do that line too? Bandai might actually do that line as well. I don't know. But yeah, they're like bad versions. Some of them are okay, but not great versions of. They're like the C grade SH Figure Arts or something. But anyway, I forget what that line is called. Yeah, so other than those super terrible children cheap toys that they make, I don't remember the name of the line, but I think they might have made they might have made a Shigaraki in that line. But other than that, for the adult collections, for the adult collectors, I should say, and for your adult collections, this would be the one that you would probably go with until SH Figure Arts makes one. If they're actually going all in on that line, which SH Figure Arts is notorious for not finishing lines, then we'll see. They might make him. But anyway, that's it for the review. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, peace.